Hello everybody and welcome back to another episode of Microsoft Flight Simulator. In today's episode we are checking out the latest release of the Flying Iron Spitfire, which after the latest update guide is basically a completely new plane. Wait till you see this changelog. If you are interested in acquiring any of my Overkills tutorial guides or simply interested in supporting the channel, please consider joining me on Patreon. Patreon subscribers level tier 2 and above have access to all of my guides as well as any future guides that come along down the road. Patreon link can be found in the description below, and thank you to all of my current subscribers. Okay guys, so let's get into this. I'm only going to touch on a few things, but there's quite a bit of pretty impressive information here. So, computational fluid dynamics, implementation of full CFD. That means that the aircraft behavior and overall performance is going to be constantly changing based on the environment around you, wind, temperature, etc. Okay, tailored AOA or angle of attack wing lift profile, improved adverse yaw, retuned yaw, roll, and pitch stability, rudder and aileron and elevator fine-tuning, retuned the drag numbers for drop tank, canopy, and radiator. So if you have the radiator open, you're actually going to, or the radiator open, if you have the canopy open, you're actually going to get some drag based on that performance, which means you should notice a difference when the canopy is closed. It was very common for these aircraft when they would take off to actually have the canopy open. Now we're going to test that theory because a lot of things in Microsoft Flight Simulator, for example, Cessna 172, right? You're taking off and you have the window open. Right about the time you get to rotation speed, it will say, you know, you'll get that error, too much stress on the aircraft and it breaks. Okay, so we're going to test that and see if that's an issue or if it actually works well. And I'm assuming it's going to work just fine, given otherwise why would they add this to the changelog? But you have the clipped wing version has been adjusted, which I'm not a big fan of the clipped wing. I like this one. This is my favorite style. I think it's just a gorgeous aircraft. Increased propeller drag at low boost. Let's see here. Slightly increased low RPM shake. I'm going to let you guys sort of just scroll through these, but let's get down into the ground handling because that's another big one here. So let's scroll down a little bit here. Look at this. Look how long this thing is. CFD ground effects. So back to that computational flight dynamics. Flying Iron tail dragger physics finely tuned to match the actual Spitfire behavior for a highly authentic experience. Let's see here. Free castering tail wheel. This is going to be interesting. So you can steer with differential braking, which in truth, that's got to be for a simulator perspective, right? And the reason why I say that to make the experience better for us is what I mean is the Spitfire actually didn't have differential braking. Steering this aircraft was actually an extreme pain in the butt on the ground because the brake handle is actually inside the cockpit. It's on the flight stick. I'll show you guys when we get into it for those who may not be aware of it. And what you'd have to do is basically apply the rudder direction that you want it to go, increase the RPMs, and slightly apply the brake to keep from, tearing tail down the freaking taxiway. And then you'd have to do the same thing to reverse it to straighten the tail wheel out because, again, it's free castering, just like a shopping cart. So if you just let it kick off to one direction, it would just keep on going. So it relied very heavily on prop wash down to the vertical stabilizer in order to, no, not vertical stabilizer, sorry, you guys know what I mean, the rudder, the rudder in order to actually bring the tail end back around the other direction. It was a really tricky thing to fly. It's actually modeled really well in DCS, and I'm sure that, a lot of this is very difficult given the fact that Microsoft Flight Simulator doesn't have the same dynamics. But in DCS, if you guys ever want a challenge to just taxiing the Spitfire in DCS, you'll get frustrated until you figure out it is a pain in the butt. Too much brake and it doesn't turn, too much or not enough brake. Yeah, you guys get the gist. Anyway, take a look at the sound changes. The sound changes are incredible. Just about everything has been changed with this thing. I'm really, really looking forward to this flight here. And it just goes on and on and on. You guys can see this is what I mean by we basically got an entirely new aircraft. It's brand new. It might as well be a release of its own. So what we're going to do here is we're going to go ahead and jump into the cockpit. If I can turn the browser off, there we go. And we're going to see how she flies. And again, a link to Flying Iron's website will obviously be down in the description below, so make sure you guys check them out if you haven't already. They're super awesome. They do great work. All right, now I am going to cheat because I'm trying to save time in the video, and that's usually why I do this. But I can tell you right now, the startup is fully modeled, and you guys can pull up the tablet, and you have a fully integrated checklist here, walks you through how to start the aircraft, your run-ups, your takeoffs, all that good jazz. Now, again, guys, one of the biggest reasons why I don't do that in these videos when I'm doing a review is simply because of time, right? So, obviously, all the stuff is absolutely cool, and I can tell you right now that it is very, very well modeled, and it is modeled step by step. It's a really awesome process. So, I'm going to go ahead and just give her the old Control-E. Listen to that amazing sound, though. Sounds amazing. This thing is wonderful. I am going to make it a little bit earlier in the morning. There we go. Okay, so let's see here. One of the things I want to show you guys on the tablet, let me recenter my head tracker. There we go. I was wondering what was going on. Okay, so let's bring that back up. Let's zoom back in here. Let me actually turn that off for a moment. Turn on the GPS system. So there's quite a few cool things here. Obviously, you have all your V-speed information that's automatically calculated in here for you. Your live data. This is all the active information on the engine and the aircraft performance. Bunch of different stats and statistics, and a lot of this stuff has been here before. Your fuel loadout here. We're just going to set this for short range today. We're just going to do a quick hop around the block here. Autopilot configuration. If you guys want to use autopilot, it is available in this aircraft to an extent. Very, very limited, obviously, which as it should be given the fact it didn't exist. Well, at least in this aircraft. But then here is the cool part. We have maintenance page. So, for example, I have to click on that in order to repair the damage that I clearly have done. I'm not quite sure when I did that, but you have your overhauls, inspections, all kinds of really awesome stuff that they've added to this. It's a really impressive system. And again, what that does is simply, it's nothing crazy, right? It just adds just a little bit more immersion about taking care of your aircraft, depending what kind of sim pilot you are and what you want to do. You can see you can toggle the gun sight or the GPS. I leave the GPS on for the moment. And you can do a whole bunch of other things here that make it very, very customizable, which they've done a great job. Look at the texture work in the cockpit, though. This thing looks gorgeous. They have done an amazing job with this. It looks absolutely stunning. The revamp is beautiful. This is so beautiful. They really outdone themselves, in my opinion. There's our radio. Alright, so here's the brake handle I was telling you guys about. It's got single brake handle. And by the way, if you can't find the parking brake, it's right here. You just click on it, releases it, and then you'll be able to move. So let's go ahead and go for a flight. Let's get the door closed here. And I believe we got to click right here. There we go, to latch it. If you ever can't close the canopy, this is your problem. Speaking from a friend's experience, of course, I didn't do that. I got it the first time, of course. I would never spend 30 minutes trying to figure out why I can't close the canopy. All right, so here is what I'm talking about of why you have to use brake. You guys see how quickly, like I'm pushing all left rudder. If I do right rudder, you can see nothing's happening. So if I add throttle though, now she comes around, and that's that prop wash talking. So that's the reason why you have to also add brake into it. Now, they have given us the option of using differential braking, which differential braking means you have the ability of braking one wheel at a time, left wheel, right wheel. That part is not authentic to the real aircraft, okay? But the rudder control while braking is. You have to use the brake in order to control your speed because you're obviously rapidly advancing the prop, and I think I'm taxiing the wrong direction. I totally am. So let's turn her around without taking out the taxi lights, which I think I just did. love the brake sounds they added. It's perfect. Now, differential braking is certainly a lot easier. Oof! Got ahead of me. Got ahead of me a little bit. Differential braking is easier than the standard way this aircraft takes off. I'm going to end up in the grass. I did not. I didn't pay attention where I was going. Well, we're going to go over the grass. It's happening. Here we go. Oh, look, a taxiway. I can't see. Yo, baby, come on. And the thing about it, and this is what happens in DCS too, is if you do it by the book the way you're supposed to, this isn't even a taxiway, we're just going to keep on going now. I'm playing too much with the taxiing, so I'm not paying attention where I'm going, admittedly. Again, this is a review of the update. This is not a review of Overkill's flying professionalism, because clearly this is horrible. But we're just going to walk ourselves out here. Look. Although this airport is weird. You guys can't deny that. Like, what the heck? Like, there's weird spots all over the place here. Like, I'm not quite sure how you're supposed to. Yeah, there we go. We'll just run over the pappy lights. Oh, that was terrible. Absolutely terrible. Okay. Well, you guys got the gist. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and try to line her up here. Slowly applying the brake. I'm going to add quite a bit of I believe I want right rudder. I hope that I went the right direction. We'll know in a minute when I can't control it. Alright, I'm going to slowly advance the throttles. We're only going to go for about 6 on the boost. Slowly advancing the throttle, compensating with right rudder. Tail wheel coming up. Ooh, that was nice. Airspeed alive and indicating. Oh, come back to the left. Come back to the left. There's 100 miles an hour. And let's rotate. Forgot to compensate with that right aileron. And it seems to do just fine with the canopy open. That's awesome. Let's get the gear up. Now the fun part's going to be closing the canopy. Give me a second. Okay, there we go. Alright, let's pull the RPMs back. And there you have it. And she is stunning. Absolutely gorgeous. What a beautiful area to fly in. I'll try to remember to put the ICAO down there in the description here. Flying like a dream, though. Beautiful. And What a gorgeous morning for a flight. Let's go have some fun with it. You can hear all those control surfaces actuating, which is, I don't know how legit that is, but this would be a fun one to fly around with a buddy in like an ME 109, or even against the P40 you could have some fun doing some mock combat. Listen to that sound though. Hearing the wind coming off of it. Oh, where are we going? Uh-oh. I made her mad. The textures. I can't get over the textures. Between the textures and the sound, man, they nailed this thing. Oh! Okay, so we should totally be game over right there. I hit that. Thank God for the lack of damage model sometimes. But oops. Well, you guys can always count on me to have fun, right? Yo, we got this. We got this. We got. Oh. Okay, so that was an oops. My bad. Anyway, that's the kind of fun that I like to have. I gotta be honest. I'm always playing around with something in a way that you're not supposed to. That's why I named my channel the way I did. Gotta be honest. I can tell you guys this thing is an absolute ton of fun to fly. This is totally well done. Really enjoying it. Alright, well let's try the hard part, shall we? Let's see if I can land it without hitting something I'm not supposed to. Listen to those sounds. What's amazing is they had access to a real Spitfire to get a lot of this stuff right. And that's amazing in itself. Alright, we're at 120 miles an hour. Let's go ahead and do flaps 1. Well, the flaps, I should say. We don't have flaps 1. Coming down to 100, we're going to go gear down. Let's bring that RPM back up a bit. Just a bit. Nothing crazy. And you'll find that the aircraft, especially with the gear down or in dirty configuration, gear down, flaps down, etc., as you increase the prop, you'll find that she gets a bit out of control and wonky again, which is very true to life again. I think that's with most tail draggers. That turn is the best thing I've done the entire video. Damn it. I was really trying not to... Oh wow, just bounced it all the way down the runway, didn't we? Again, listen to the sounds. And the sound of those brakes. By the way, if you guys decide to fly out here, back taxi down the runway. Don't do what I did. Going to bring it right up here and park it. Alright, now I should be able to just... Okay. Parking brake should be set. Beautiful. Absolutely gorgeous. What a amazing, amazing aircraft. Now, let's see if I can remember how to turn the electrical power off. There's actually the switch to turn it on is actually in front of the throttle, but I can't remember where it is. There it is. There it goes. Very, very slick system. Very, very awesome aircraft. They've done such a beautiful job between the textures and the sound and the performance of the aircraft. This thing is absolutely legit. Really blown away with this latest update. Really, really fantastic work, guys. If you guys enjoy the Warbirds or just like the idea of cruising around in one of these, pick this one up. It is on par. This thing is incredible. So impressed by that. Flying Irons, you guys have done absolutely outdone yourself. As always, guys, stay safe and healthy. And if you enjoyed the video, be sure to hit that like and subscribe button. And I will see you in the next one.